Hey, welcome to another edition of Midwest Prayer Talk Radio. Since we've taken our summer hiatus and it's time to come back and get busy and putting out videos for everybody. So I am the G-Man. That is Deb.
Hi.
Hi.
I sound like an old lady. Hi. I love this new thing.
It's pretty cool. I got to work on the transitions. The transitions need to be a little smoother. I got to figure out how I can go in from the countdown and transition smoothly into the intro and then transition that out into us. So
we got a new streaming platform to use here, and I'm really liking it. It's cool.
It's pretty cool so far. Overlay, we can turn that overlay on.
Well, looky there. We're on a learning curve right now. So we just popped in here for a little test run and say hey, because it's been a minute.
You know, we're always on a learning curve for some reason.
No, I don't care. You know what? Life is about having fun and doing the shit you like to do. And right? And we like to do this. Even if nobody watches, I'm good with that. No.
Yeah, I am too.
Somebody eventually will. I'm just so I really like this. This is cool.
Yeah, it's all right. Like I said, I got to work on the transitions and I'll have to do some research and try to figure that out. But, overall, I mean, am I echoing or anything?
Nope. How about me?
No, not at all. Because I don't have any headphones or earbuds or anything, and I'd have it running through the board and coming directly through the studio monitor.
Well, I got headphones on, so I don't know what would happen if I unplugged them. You want me to try it?
Sure, let's give it a go.
Let's try it. Then you can see how screwed up my hair is. I need a wig. Anybody out there who has good wiggery and wants to donate to the cause, hit me up. Hold on. Let me unplug this. Oh, shit. Just knocked over my little thing.
Oh, no.
Okay. Am I echoing?
Not at all.
Oh, I heard you just fine. Only reason I use that. Oh, my God. I look like shit. The only reason I used the headphones was because I was afraid that I would
hide your head,
feedback and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I'm not,
the other one, the Baltimore software that we're using, the one that should not be mentioned or whatever, we would echo. There would be feedback. What are you doing?
Well, cool. I'm glad that there's not, because I got a big ass head, and after a while, the headphones, after about an hour, I'd be getting a headache because they'd be squeezing my head.
Right. Well, you were on like 20 different shows yesterday, so
I know.
We tried doing a show last night with some different software, and it didn't work out very well for us. And I was messing around with it, and I got frustrated and pulled an F-bomb on it, and we kiboshed it. And then we found this, so we thought we'd give it a go. So I was thumbing through Facebook today, and Professor McGonagall passed away today from Harry Potter, and she was she was Wendy in the first Peter Pan movie back in the day.
Oh, she was? I didn't know that. But I knew she was in what is that period piece about British royalty?
Downton Abbey.
Yeah, she was in that. My girlfriend, she's a I don't think I've ever seen the first episode of that. My girlfriend was addicted to it. She used to tell me
I
about
haven't
it.
either. And I'm surprised that somebody hasn't watched it.
My mom and I watched the whole season.
Oh, did you really? Oh, that's funny.
And then it got a bit depressing, so we read the bullet points of what happened.
Oh, you did the Cliff Notes then?
Maggie Smith.
Yeah.
That's her name. She was 89 years old. She had a good long life. And what an exciting life.
Right.
In her later years as an actress. That would be
apparently she was in some sort of Star Wars as well.
Yeah, I think so.
One of the images that I saw, and I think she had to be an alien or whatever, but she was holding up a lightsaber, and it was on a Star Wars page. I got cat hair. Hold on. She was on a Star Wars page, holding up a lightsaber. So I don't know. Are you looking it up?
I'm on the Googles. I always sound, get on the Googles and do that. I'm looking at what did she do? Movies. The Miracle Club, Downton Abbey, A Boy Called Christmas, Sherlock Gnomes, Lady in the Van.
She was in quite a bit of things. I know.
Here's her IMDb blah 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 thingy.
I am deep in the D. What?
Shut up. It's her thing. She was in The Miracle Club, Downton Abbey, A New Era, A Boy Called Christmas. She played Aunt Ruth in that. Harry Potter, Hogwarts Mystery, Nomeo and Juliet. 2. She played Lady Blueberry, the voice. It was an animation. Lady in the Van. She played Miss Shepherd. The second best, Exotic Marigold. Muriel Donnelly was the character she played. My Old Lady, Matilda Gerard. Quartet, Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Romeo and Juliet 1. Nanny McPhee and the Big Bang. Good Lord, this lady was busy. From Time to Time. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood, whatever.
Prince.
Capturing Mary. Harry Potter and the Order of the
Phoenix.
Yeah. Becoming Jane. Keeping Mum, which is some kind of funnies. Keeping Mum, Deleted Sings. Keeping Mum. I don't know. Maybe that was a British TV show or something. I don't know. More Harry Potter. Ladies in Lavender. More Harry Potter. My House in Umbria. More Harry Potter. She was in all the Harry Potters.
She was in all the Harry Potters.
The Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood. Gosford Park. David Copperfield, All the King's Men. Ooh, that was good. The Last September. Tea with Mussolini. Curtain Call. Washington Square. The First Wives Club. I liked that one.
Yeah.
Richard III. Sister Act 2. Back in the Habit.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
The Secret Garden. That was a good one. Great performances. And then Sister Act. Screen 2.
Yeah, she was Mother Superior, I think, in Sister Act.
And she played Granny Wendy in Hook.
Yep. Hello, boy.
Romeo and Juliet. It was an animation. She did the voice of Rosalind.
Okay.
Talking Heads TV miniseries. The Lonely Passion of Judith something. I can't read the word because I'm blind. Crapperoni.
Gonna have to get you some better spectacles.
Anyways, I done. My big fat finger didn't touch the wrong thing, and now I.
So yeah, she was in a bunch of stuff.
She's in a bunch of stuff. I mean, we could be here for like 10 minutes. Bless her heart. God rest her soul. Thanks for the memories.
Another one that really was a Deb Downer. James Earl Jones.
Oh yeah, that sucked.
I was like, whoa. I didn't even know he was sick, but hell, I didn't even know he was 93.
Right? You don't even have to be sick when you're 93.
I know, right?
It's just time to go. I don't know.
Look, did you see my ghost?
Oh, you're haunted. Your ghost has an orange shirt on.
I'm haunted. Yeah, I didn't even know he was sick, and that was like Darth Vader, man. That Darth
Right.
Vader's voice.
He also played Barney Hill in The Interrupted Journey
Yeah,
back in the day. And I
yeah.
believe he was the voice over of the original animation of The Grinch That Stole Christmas, wasn't he? You're a mean one.
No, that's not him. I
That's
thought it
not him.
was.
I thought it
No,
was.
but it's another dude, and
But
because
dude
for
sounds like
years I thought it was James Earl Jones, and it wasn't. I had to look
well,
it
he
up.
was he was
Um,
definitely Barney Hill in
right.
Eddie and Barney.
He was in Sandlot. He was in um, The Big Bang Theory. That was the best. Him and Carrie Fisher were in Big Bang, and him and Sheldon met up at the Cheesecake Factory where Penny
Oh,
worked.
I remember that. Yeah.
Right, and then they went and ding dong ditched Carrie Fisher's house,
Uh-huh.
and
Didn't
she
they
come
get
out with a
kind of drunk?
baseball bat.
Didn't they get a little bit tipsy and then
Yeah, I think
drank?
I think he did. I don't know if Sheldon did or not, but it's a ghost cat. Don't menace to society cat is what that is.
Oh,
And then Carrie Fisher ran out with a baseball bat, and she's yelling, "James Earl Jones, quit knocking on my door!"
I
Yeah,
loved it when other characters from other nerd shows were on that. I always loved when Will Wheaton was on there. I love Will Wheaton.
right.
He's a member of Mensa too, and
Is he
my son
really?
has seen him. Yes, and my son has seen him at Gen Con playing games
Yeah.
several times. He's a big nerd. I love me some nerds.
See, I always thought he was kind of a dick in Big Bang, and then I watched the series a couple times, and then the more I see it, the more I think he's hilarious.
He's hilarious because I mean, if I had to deal with Sheldon Cooper, I'd be a dick too.
No,
'Cause
yeah, you're
Sheldon was
probably right. Yeah,
he was
but
annoying.
the thing with him is that he never wanted to be an actor.
Who
And,
will?
yeah, Will Wheaton. His story is really kind of sad because his monster mother pushed
Yeah.
him into it and forced him into it, stole all kinds of money and shit from him.
Yeah, I was aware of his, his bad, his poor, sad home life when he was a kid. I knew about some of that.
Yeah, I was like, damn, son.
Yeah.
He turned out all right though from his public persona. I mean, he
Well, I
seems
think
like a
so.
pretty
Yeah.
cool cat.
Yeah, and he gets to go to all those cons now and be
Right.
Will Wheaton forever and ever. Which as an actor, that's a double-edged sword.
Mhm.
It's one thing because you get to play the same character for a while. You can really develop them, and you get your bills paid, and you buy a nice house
Right.
because you got steady income. But then on the flip side, it makes it kind of hard when you want to try something else and you want to play a
Yeah.
different kind of character. And I don't think Hollywood's always accommodating to people when they would like to do that. There's been a few that's been able to do that. Like for me, I mean, like Robin Williams
Yeah.
and Jim Carrey, both comedians, and they were both in some really funny movies, but then they played some really heavy movies and they did it well.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? But that's not easy, and that's, I don't think, typical. So
Right. Yeah, it's a slippery slope with the kid actors and whatnot. I mean, you start seeing all the documentaries like on about Disney.
Oh shit.
And them kids that were in those shows without I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a nasty man and did nasty things, and it's all coming out now. And then Corey Haim, probably one of the more famous kid actors that committed suicide, had all kinds of problems, and and
a lot of kid actors have had a rough way to go. I wouldn't want my child to become an actor.
Not in Hollywood.
No, I would. They, when they're an adult, if that's what they choose to do, that's
right.
Then you're a grown ass human being. Do what you want. But I would never ever promote or push my child into acting.
No, I don't think.
Especially not nowadays. And it wasn't any better back then. God, I remember reading horror stories about Judy Garland, and when she was a kid doing the Wizard of Oz. Jesus, and they were on her ass about being 5 pounds overweight, and the poor thing was eating hot coffee and soup for everything,
and cigarettes.
and yeah, and you know, the big TV or the big movie producers were a bunch of pervs,
Right.
you know, the old proverbial couch
What?
thing.
There was rumors that they ace bandaged her breasts to her chest
Yeah, to make her look
not
younger.
as busty. Yeah.
And Shirley Temple, she went through some of the same crap.
Really?
You know, so yeah, I mean, it's not anything that's new in Hollywood, that's for sure. Hopefully that it will change, but I don't know that it's any different right now than it was back in the 30s, really. So,
right.
but,
Just more creepy.
yeah, fortunately, some people are able to get through it and not, you know, let it hold them back. Well, some
Right.
people can't, and you can't blame them for it. Shoot, that's some bad shit. But
That's right.
so anyway, gosh, we haven't been on here forever and a day because first I fell apart and
July.
Jesus, yeah, I had this. I'll tell y'all this little story about my neck. It's kind of weird. And don't get me wrong, I'm not claiming that anything woo-woo happened with my neck, but I'm just going to tell you the timeline of events with my neck. Now, it is well known, at least to my friends and family, that I do have a pretty crumbly spine from the head down. I have osteopenia, and I've had 2 other neck surgeries higher up where I had screws and plates and all that stuff in there, right? And then they fused it. And I did fine. I have arthritis. I have degenerative disc disease, osteoarthritis, degenerative arthritis, whatever you want to call it, and stenosis. Also, I can't remember what the technical term is, but I'm going to tell you it's bone spurs that grow right off of the edges of everything. And they get tangled up. Sometimes they grow into nerve pockets, you know, and really wreak havoc, which has happened before. But anyway, I hadn't had any symptoms. Really, I had one little spell where I had a little pain in my upper back off to my right, you know, between I call it the wing. What is that, shoulder blade?
Right.
But, you know, I went to the doctor. He gave me an x-ray. He's like, you got a little bit of arthritis. He sent me to physical therapy for a few weeks. I took some, you know, pain medicine, and it went away, and I was fine. Well, one night I've been really into sound, you know, sound vibrations, sound bath, sound therapy, all that shit. I don't know why I feel really drawn to it. I feel it's important. It's part of why I love music, because music is just different vibrating sounds, and it has a real, certain musics can have a real physical effect on me. I think that's pretty common for a lot of people. You know, you hear a particular song, you get goosebumps. You hear another particular kind of song and you feel relaxed, and you know, so sound is real important to me. And I've been reading up on beta, alpha, theta waves, and I thought, I'm going to try this theta wave. I don't think I'd ever listened to that before. And I'm not talking about theta wave like in some new age music stuff. I'm talking about the straight up sound. The frequency of that sound that kicks that in. And so I found some, and I got me I have these little headphones. They're like little headphone things, but they have like a black mask. And then the little headphones are embedded in the black mask. It's all real soft, so you can sleep and don't mess with your ears or any of that jazz. So I pull this bad dude on. I've got all my pillows packed around me. I'm cozy and snug as a bug in a rug. And I fire up this sound wave. I kid you not. I bet I didn't lay there 5 minutes and I was out, dead to the world. And one of the things that I read about this was it could be useful if you're trying to initiate an OBE, you know, and that it's also
I can see that,
and also useful for you know, meditation and all that. And I thought, you know, I always feel like sometimes when I go to sleep, I go somewhere else. So let's just see where I go. Let's just see what happens if I do this, right? So I had that in my head. And I fell asleep. I was asleep maybe 10 minutes, about 5 minutes, I was out like a light. Now, I had a lucid dream. at the end of my sleep cycle, which is when I always have them, like the last 10, 15 minutes of my sleep. And then I wake up, right? So I have this fucked up dream, right? Where I hear a helicopter. It's morning. Like, and I get up, I go outside on the front porch, and I hear a helicopter coming down the street from the east. And it's real foggy. It's a foggy morning. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I look, and so I walk out onto the patio, onto a curved walkway a little bit, like towards the driveway. And I'm looking down the road to the east at the end of the cul-de-sac. And I see this, I assume is a helicopter coming towards me right down the middle of the street. But it's kind of enveloped a little bit in its own little cloud. But for some reason or another, I could still see or know that it's a helicopter, and I could certainly hear it. And I'm thinking, what the hell is that thing doing down there so low? And why is it coming straight down my street? And about the time I was thinking that, it started to veer a little bit to the north of its trajectory, which would bring it right over the top of me, because my house was on the north side of the street. So I'm watching it, and it gets right above me. And of course, since it's right above me, my head is, like that, looking up. And right when I do that, I have this bam, and it's bright white light, like lights up underneath it. And this is the weird part. Not that that wasn't weird enough. In an instant, in a flash, it's like I'm out of my body, and I can see me, and I can see my face, and I can see my eyes, and I can see the white light in my eyes, in my, my pupils. And at that moment, I felt like someone took a picture of me.
Okay.
And then I woke up. As soon as I realized, oh shit, that's me. That's somebody just took a picture of my face. And I'm like, wow. And this light is so intense. So then I wake up. Okay. And I'm in my bed and everything's cool. It's not early morning now. It's not foggy out or any of that shit. But I wake up and I think, God, I don't feel good. I don't feel right. Something ain't right. I felt weird. And then as soon as I got up and started moving around, that pain in my back, upper back, came back. And within minutes, the pain became intense. And I realized that my arm was numb. And then I started having a hard time lifting it. And my face started feeling weird and tingly. And I told Dave, I said, man, something ain't right. Now, my neck never hurt, really. It was the lower down, right? Well, I ended up going to the emergency room not once, but twice. Because I called my doctor first, and I'm like, dude, there is something wrong with me. And I don't know if I'm like having I don't know what I've done. I've got pain in my upper back, and my arm is kind of numb.
Right.
And she's like, oh, have you tried taking Tylenol or Aleve? Do you have any lidocaine patches or anything? Because we knew I have arthritis, right?
Right.
We had that X-ray in May. And I said, no, I'll try that. She says, if it gets worse, go to the emergency room. Don't mess around. Well, it got worse. So I went to the emergency room. And they did an X-ray, and they're like, you got a lot of arthritis in your neck and your back. I'm like, yeah, I already know that. So they gave me medicine, like pain, like steroids and muscle relaxers, something like that. So you need to go see your neck doctor. I'm like, okay. So I went home, got way worse. I'm afraid I was having a heart attack or stroke or a blood clot.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally couldn't lift my arm at all. It was dead ass numb. I was a hot mess. It was so bad that we ended up calling an ambulance. So they toted me back to the hospital. Then this time they did an MRI. And the doctor came in and she goes, you messed up. I said,
gee, thanks.
You think? And she's like, you need a pain management specialist. I said, okay. Well, in the meantime, I did manage to get an appointment with my doctor who operated on my neck. And I got an appointment for the coming Friday, which was like 2 days. I'm like, if I can just live 2 days, I can get in there. So I got to the doctor's office. they looked at the MRI, and the doctor put me in the hospital immediately from the office to the emergency room on a morphine pain pump. And then he came in and operated on me on Sunday. My neck was busted. The bone spurs had broken off and were in nerve cavities that were affecting my arm, my neck, my face, everything. And also one of my discs had ruptured, and I had pieces of disc just like free floating around in there.
Yeah.
So from C6 to T1, I got screwed and plated and everything, all of that. And he took out the old hardware from the other surgery. Mm-hmm. And then when I woke up, he's like, well, your neck ought to be golden now because you're rebuilt from the top down. So it's like, how the hell do you go to bed okay and you wake up all broke up like that?
Right.
Now, part of me thinks the moment that I saw the bright flash, you know what I mean? And I came out of my body and saw my own face, my logical mind wants to say, is that your subconscious mind's reaction to like getting hit by a cattle prod in the neck? You know what I mean? Like is that the moment that the bones snapped and went into the nerve? You know what I'm saying? Or something like that? Because, that had to be tragic. I mean, if I would have been awake when that happened, I probably would have passed out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So did I like do the reverse? Was I passed out and it happened and then woke up? You know what I mean? But the strange thing about it is though, the theta wave and the dream beforehand. Mm-hmm. Now only me would have so weird of stuff. So I wrote it all down, told all my friends, because hell, you never know. You know what I mean? But Greg, this is my whole freaking life. Yeah. I don't never do nothing little.
Right.
I'm the only person I know go to bed fine and wake up with a broken ass neck.
Right.
So how does that even happen? Well,
yeah,
welcome to the life of an NHI experiencer, I guess. Right. So that's where I've been for the last month and a half, basically healing up. And then I left my poor buddy here twisting in the wind by himself.
I spent a week in the hospital myself. So
yeah, that poor dude, he had some issues he had to deal with. So he had me all verklempt.
At the end of that week, though, them nurses was like, oh my God, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Get him the hell up out of here.
You weren't that bad, were you?
Honey?
Yes, dear.
How bad was I in the hospital?
Oh.
I was pretty bad.
The first day you knew something was wrong. The second day you knew something was wrong. The third, fourth, and fifth day, you were over it.
Right.
You were over it.
That's pretty much how it was, too.
You had me worried, though.
He had me worried.
It was weird. I just passed out. I was done. I went up to go to the bathroom. The next thing I know, I got the dogs and Deanna over me going, oh my God, are you okay? Yeah. And it took me a few seconds to gather my brain cells together and be coherent. And after that, I was okay. But yeah, then we went in and they messed with me and poked, prodded, took blood for a week.
Turned you into a pin cushion.
Right.
They like to do that.
But they were like this, that, and the other. And I was just like, I was done. I was just fucking over it. I was ready to go home. After like you said, after the third day when the cardiologist came in.
And you got the runaround from hospitalist for a day and a half.
Yeah, they ran me around the block on some shit. And then they did the heart cath thing on me, and he was like, yeah, you're good. And then that was on Wednesday, and then on Friday I still wasn't released. I'm like, why am I still here?
Get me out of here.
The heart doctor said, I don't think it's a big problem. I think you're okay. Everything was regulated. And the GP or the attending was like, oh, well, we'll hold on to you and we'll see this, that, and the other. The cardiologist comes in, he goes, why are you still here? I'm like, yeah, bro, let's get out of here. Get me up out of here.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're home, and I'm glad you're doing all right, because you had me worried, you little punk ass. I was going to have to come down there and take care of business. I'm older than you. You're not supposed to be more jacked up than me.
Right.
But we're here. We're back. We got a new platform. We're going to get ourselves going again, because this is something we both like to do.
Oh, for sure.
I'm really liking this new platform. This is really
nice. This is pretty nice. Hey, get out of that. Don't. Don't. You little shithead.
So the little is this Restream IO, that's linked to our YouTube channel. Is that correct? The chat?
Yes, the chat is in the YouTube channel.
Okay, groovy.
So yeah, the overlay next to our pictures there, we can see what's going on in YouTube, and we can chat in this, we can chat in YouTube. So if we chat in the software where it says chat on the far right, that automatically goes to the overlay in the screen with us, and
all
it also
this
comes out
new
to
fancy
YouTube.
stuff.
So yeah, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, that's pretty nifty.
Yeah, not bad at all, actually.
I'm really excited to get rolling on it. Isn't there an investigation? Isn't there an investigation scheduled for November?
Oh my God, Bips, we're so busy right now. Are coming up. I mean, they're in June, early July, before the hospital stay. We had like 4 investigations in a row every weekend. So for a full month, we were going strong, which makes it hard to go over the evidence and do the analysis and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was catching up, and then we had that stint where I went in the hospital and came out and still had audio and video to go over. And then we had one setup after that, a little bit after that. I think we did an investigation. And then last weekend we were in a parade over where the town that Billy and Felicia live in. So we were in the parade there, the Shriners Parade. Then on the 5th, we have an investigation at an undisclosed location that I'll talk to you. I'll tell you about it offline. But it's going to be interesting, and it's pretty big for us as far as being able to get into this place. So it's a private owned residence type thing, but there's a story behind it. And once I get to go ahead and the green light that I can talk about it after the investigation, I will. And then we have another one, I think the weekend after that, it's like in Illinois. I can't remember the name of it. It's something to do with, it's a railroad town. It was created in 1853, I think, or 57, something like that. And Billy hit me up and he's like, hey, can you dig into this area for me? So I'm looking at it, and, you know, I heard the claims of activity and whatnot, then started digging on it. And apparently back in 1947, there was 111 coal miners that were killed in an explosion in the coal mine there in that city. And like I said, it was a railroad town. So there was, you know, there's a lot of shenanigans going on back in the day to do with the railroad. A lot of people don't know or don't want to know or don't really care, but I thought it was interesting enough to know that the building of the railroad wasn't conducive to having a long life.
No.
Not, I mean, there was a lot of Chinese immigrants that were involved with it. The opium trade started blowing up. Murderous railroad towns.
Well, there's a lot of people, human trafficking with the Chinese immigrants too, taking them up to the West Coast, up like in Oregon and like that.
There's just a lot of bad juju connected to building of the railroad system in America back in the 1800s. So after reading the information about it and realizing there was a coal mine incident and what it had to deal with, I'm anxious to get out and take a look at this. The lady's claims of activity is pretty deep.
That's cool.
Then after that, I think we have one more at another private residence in October. No, wait, I take that back. It's not an investigation. It's a Paracon in Crawfordsville that we'll be going to. We'll have Bibbs merch and swag, and we're on a panel, so we'll be talking ghost hunting with everybody. It's going to be a good time. I dig Paracons. I dig being, talking about, ghost stuff. Obviously, we have a paranormal UFO radio show, but anyway.
Yeah.
But I enjoy being in an atmosphere of a Q&A with people off of a panel. So that's going to be really fun, and hopefully we'll get some donations for the BIPS funds. So eventually I think we're pushing sometime late next year. I'm hoping the Valeska house in Iowa, the Axmer house. So that's all the donations will go into the BIPS pay to play fund and get us to Iowa. Then after that, on the 2nd, I think the 2nd is the one in Illinois. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at the calendar, but we're busier in a one-legged man and an ass kicking contest.
Let me see. Do I have it in here?
Oh, the Rhodes Hotel. Shit.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to that one, right?
Yeah. Yes, you are. And that's the 3rd.
Is it November the 3rd?
I think so. No, it's the weekend after Thanksgiving.
Oh. When the heck is Thanksgiving? Oh, I don't have it in here. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I do.
The 28th, I think.
I don't have it in my calendar. I'm going to have to put it in there.
Come on. It is the 30th. It looks like, I think Thanksgiving is on the 28th this year.
Okay. So the 30th is the Rhodes.
Yep.
Groovy.
Which is going to be an outstanding good time.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait. Did I tell you? I think I told you when, right near the end there, right was before we were getting ready to roll, or at least before I was getting ready to go home, because I live close. I mean, it takes me 20 minutes to get there from my house. So I don't stay the night. I just come and hang out with the kids and do my thing. And then I go on home, let you all do your thing. Right. But I went to go to the bathroom in that bathroom downstairs.
Uh-huh.
And you guys were all outside having a smoke break and whatnot. There might've been one person or somebody in the kitchen, but I think mostly everyone was outside taking a break, and I had to pee before I went home. So I'm in there, the door shut, and I hear like somebody jiggle the door, like somebody's trying to open the door, and I'm like, I had it locked, and I said, I'm in here, but I'll be out shortly. And nobody said anything. And like within, 20 seconds or so, I was out the door. Right. And I looked both ways and there was nobody there. So I went outside and I'm like, whoever needed to go to the bathroom, I'm done. And y'all are like, ain't nobody in there.
Right. Well, it was shortly after you left. We had pretty intense REM pod thing going on outside in that hall.
Really?
So, yeah. So, I mean, something was trying to get you out of the toilet.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't scare me at all. Maybe it got disappointed because I didn't freak out. So I'm just like, I'm in here. I'll be out shortly.
And that's the thing is like the ghosts know, like something. I had a conversation when we were before we went to the parade and whatnot, we were talking, of course, ghost hunting with the ghost hunting group. And
imagine that.
Right. Something that always kind of rubbed me the wrong way is when like paranormal investigators will go, you don't have to be afraid of us. We're not here to hurt you. We're not, you know what I mean? And my thought process is on it, bruh, they're already dead. 90% of ghosts know that they're dead. They're not worried in the least bit about you trying to tell them that you're not going to hurt them.
Right.
Or don't be afraid of us.
They're laughing at you.
Yeah. They're on the other side going, what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah. That's like what I mean? That little wolf spider who goes, when I walk up to him and he's like, arr, I'm like, really, dude?
Right.
Which I don't kill him. I'll scoop him up and throw him outside, but I'm just saying, yeah. I'm like, I would rather go in and do an EVP or an investigation and walk in and introduce myself. I'm like, hey, I'm Deb. I've come here to talk to you. Let's have some fun. You've probably been dead for a long time, so it might be boring. I don't know. So, you know what I mean? First thing I do usually is introduce myself.
Yeah.
But it seems like now anymore, they already know who I am because I'll get EVPs that say, hey, Debbie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, we got an EVP last time we were at the roads where they called you out.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
Literally Debbie. I mean,
yeah,
that's like real clear. And then it said Deb. At first it said Debbie, and then it said Pickles, and then it said Deb. Yeah, and you and me and we always talk about pickles. What the hell is that? We always talk about pickles when we're together.
Well, when we do EVP sessions, we don't do EVP sessions like everyone else.
No.
What's your name? What year is it? Who, who's this? Who's that? Why are you here? Are you stuck? We don't roll like that. I mean, we're basically, when we do an EVP session, it's basically like listening to one of our podcasts because we'll just talk. And I mean, we get responses out of it, which is just kind of
we
crazy.
Have a conversation, and whoever else is there listening wants to participate in our conversation. Some of the best EVPs that we've had have been just you and me talking to each other, and whatever was there with us decided to interject and put their 2 cents worth in. Remember Gurgle? Jesus Christ, that was the best EVP I've ever gotten in 30 years of
it was the clearest. It was like somebody was standing right in between us, right on top of the mic, and said gurgles.
It was ridiculous. And when I let people hear it and I tell them there was nobody in that room with Greg and me, there wasn't even anybody in the house.
There were 3 people in the house, and the other guy who's no longer with the team was sitting in front of the cameras, and he heard it downstairs.
Right.
Over the camera, because you can hear him going, what the hell?
Yep.
And we were going, what the hell?
Yep.
So
you and me and that dude downstairs, and you and I were upstairs in that little attic area. It was like she was sitting right next to me and leaned into the mic just as I finished the last word and stepped right in on top of me. Gurgles. And I was like, wow. And shoot, that's what kills me. I watch these paranormal shows on TV, and the shit they pass off as EVPs, I throw away.
Yeah.
When I'm listening to evidence, I'm like, come on, that's a stretch. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm not even wasting my time. Oh, the ghost is back.
The ghost is back.
The ghostess with the mostest.
Right. Yeah, I'm just like you. 90% of what they show now on the TV shows and whatnot, I wouldn't even present as evidence to the client.
Oh hell no.
Or even put online as from our pay to plays. That, I mean, if I can't, I really don't like to present evidence if I have to enhance it in any way,
or if I have to tell you what it says beforehand. Then it's not as impactful to me because that's that psychologically implants that you'll hear that in your head, and then you will. But if you
Right.
go in blind and you just say, here, listen to this and tell me what you think, you hear.
Right.
You know what I mean? Once we have a consensus on what we think it says amongst ourselves, then we'll name the file just for the sake of being able to find it.
Right.
But when I first find stuff, it's like I really like to let my my cohorts listen to it without any introduction, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
I
Any
want to hear
pre-knowledge of what you think it says, because that's one of the things. Like, I can hear something and I think it'll say, I'm Charlie, and you can hear it and listen to it, and it'd sound like it's gnarly,
or I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Or
you know what I
something
mean?
like that.
So,
Right.
and one of the things that you're really good at is you can pick out and discern the frequencies of the EVPs. Most women have a hard time hearing EVPs because of the frequency level that their ears are attuned to, versus like the more, I guess, men are more deep toned, lower band frequency when we listen and hear, and women are a little higher toned. So some of the EVPs that I would hear or a man would hear, some women can't hear it, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But as one of the things, I mean, we've never had any questionable, like, no, that's nothing, when we do EVPs and we go over each other's stuff. So,
and mine are always so clear.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I mean, a lot of it has to do with the equipment.
Yeah. I'm telling you what, if you don't have an H1 or H2 Zoom stereo audio recorder, you need to get
Or
one.
an H6
or whatever. I have the H1 because I'm cheap and old. Even the one works.
You bought that motherfucker, though.
Dude, I paid a lot of money for it because I've had it for a long time, but you can hear a mouse fart in the next room with that one.
Yeah.
Greg's is way better.
You can hear the neighbors 3 doors down on this one.
You get the Zoom audio recorder, that stereo. I'm telling you, first of all, it'll be so much easier on your ears when you're doing review. Good God Almighty.
Yeah.
But second of all, make sure you tell your team, don't whisper, because you will hear them whisper and you won't be able to tell whether it's your team or a spirit. You know what I mean? Because they'll be downstairs whispering in the other room. So I would just say, if you have something to say, just talk. Don't worry about waking them up. They're dead.
Right.
Or wherever. They're somewhere else. So you're not going to disturb them by speaking. But if you whisper, you might confuse me because I'm old.
Well, one of the things that I really like about the Zooms is that you can live listen.
Yeah.
So you can put your headphones in and plug into the Zoom recorder, and you're hearing it real time. And I've heard more live EVPs since I've been involved with the Zooms than ever before.
I wonder if we can get a sponsorship for Zoom equipment for our show.
Why don't you start looking into that?
How do you do that? I don't know. Anybody out there listening, let me know, because I don't know.
Right. But I mean, and honestly,
I could use a new one.
Right. And honestly, I think that overall, the clarity of it, just like anything, I mean, the better the equipment, the better the sound quality that you're going to have. And definitely the H Zooms series is something that you guys want to look at. Some of them get a little expensive, but you can find deals. Like, I think the H1N now is like $100.
Yeah. And they're made for musicians.
Right.
They're record musical record quality. I mean, you can't beat it. Especially for what we use them for, And honestly, I'm old school. I am old school. I love playing with all the equipment, all the new equipment. I love it, but I can do an investigation with my good old K2 meter with the penny in it and my Zoom recorder, and that's it. and I can have the hell of a night, but I do love playing with all the newfangled electronic equipment that people have out there, like the Spirit Box and all that. I had my old Shack Hack that time. I just came back. I went to Michigan UFO Con, which is a fantastic, by the way, conference. If you ever want to check out a conference in the Midwest, they're in September every year, and they're up at Houghton Lake, Michigan. I always say that wrong. Bad me. Houghton Lake, Michigan. And it's always like I think this year's going to be the last weekend in September due to scheduling conflicts with the hotel. But usually it's like the second weekend in September. But anyway, it's fantastic conference. Great vibes. Wonderful people. It's paranormal. It's UFO. It's Bigfoot. It's New Age. It's just, metaphysical. It's just all kinds of people all just together. Cool stuff. Yeah. Super vibe. So I was a speaker up there. And this year I spent a lot more time on the paranormal stuff, and I showed them some of our EVPs and some of our pictures and stuff.
Yeah, how did that all?
It went great. Everyone loved it, and fortunately, all my files worked good, and everybody could hear them. Yeah. And I ended it with something that I hadn't shared in 20 years, and I sent that to you about the EVP session I did on the anniversary of my husband's death. Out in the back. And literally, when I made that hack shack, I learned how to make that from like you and Jason. And I made it myself, so I know the wires were cut and it was working appropriately, because you could hear it in the earlier part of the session going, that annoying where it's flipping through the channels. Right. So the fact that it stopped on that song after that question and played for the whole freaking song from beginning to end, that it's not possible.
Right? Yeah, no.
It's not possible, but it happened. So I played the EVPs beforehand when I asked him, why did, are you sorry you did it? And the answer was, I had to do it. Mm-hmm. And I asked, are you still with me? And a resounding, it was faint, but it was his voice. And it said, yes, but it was faint, but it sounded just like him. And then, the song thing. And that's how I ended my talk. And when I looked up, there were a bunch of people in the audience that had tears in their eyes.
Yeah.
And I had a couple of people come up to me afterwards and say, you have no idea how much hope that gave me. They'd lost their spouses. Somebody lost one of the ladies there had lost her son. And they were like, you have no idea how much hope and heaviness hope you gave me, heaviness you removed from my heart, to know that they really are with us. They're not gone,
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, good, because that's why I felt like I wanted to share it. And I said, that was the first time I'd shared that publicly since I had it in all these years. So everybody was real happy about that. And I was glad I did it.
Nice.
That's bizarre. I mean, I asked him, does love die? Did your love for me die when you died? Does love die? And this song, You've Lost That Love and Feeling, started playing. And the thing is, it had been probably 10 years since he had passed away, and I was remarried. So I had a new husband. So of course I would lose that love and feeling. I mean, come on, what are the odds of all of that coming together? To me, that's compelling. But
very compelling.
I've lived it. I was there, and to explain it to somebody that wasn't there and didn't witness it, they don't know me,
right.
And they're like, oh, she had a fake. That can't be real. That I guarantee you 100% that was real.
Yeah.
So it went over really, everybody was real interested in hearing that. It was,
nice.
There were a few like in the audience when the song, you could hear my voice ask the question, and then the song started playing, and you could literally hear people go, and I'm like, yeah, I did the right thing. I did the right thing. Sometimes
Would you play them the gurgles?
Oh yeah, I play the gurgles. Every time I play that, people go,
yeah.
And I'm like, I even go when I hear it. And then also I played them the walkie-talkie thing. Remember?
Oh man, that was crazy.
Ange was freaked out. You could hear Ange like suck her lungs right out of her chest when she heard that. I was explaining to him that all the walkies were like lined up on the table. They were all turned in. They were all tuned into the same channel, but this voice only came out of one of them. It's fucking weird.
That was crazy.
That was bizarre. I've never had a walkie-talkie participated in an EVP.
Right.
That is bizarre and fabulous. I was thrilled shitless.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't get scared, man.
We don't get disappointed very often when we
on
our EVPs when we do them.
I think you and I together are like some kind of freaking like supercell antenna or something. You know what I mean?
I think it's our energy when we're together.
I don't know. Maybe it is.
We're there to have a good time, and we're there to, do our EVP sessions. And I don't think that probably when we first met, we were trying to be very professional and all that bullshit. And now it's, we go in with a good time. We're laid back. Everything is hunky dory. We're just talking. And I think a lot of the times in what we do and what we're talking to, they just want to be part of a conversation. They want to be part of something and have fun. And I think a lot of, there's times when you have to be serious depending on what kind of situation that you're in at the time. But 90% of our investigations, I think that whatever we're talking to just wants to be acknowledged and included.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they're missing. And I think that's why we get the EVPs that we do.
Yeah.
And the quality of EVPs, because they want to talk to us and they spend that energy for us.
Yeah. See, I added just negative attracts negative, positive attracts positive. Part of the success of your investigation is going to be the energy that you bring into it. And if you walk into an investigation all angst up and afraid and
bitchy,
it's not going to serve you well. At all. And you may even, in fact, I suspect, attract the wrong kind of energy, because we're all energy. Everything is energy, honestly.
Right.
So, yeah, we go in with an attitude. We just go in with a light heart and an attitude. And, I've never personally had anything negative happen to me. I've seen it happen to other people. But then again, like I said, I don't bring negativity with me when I go.
Every time that something happens to somebody that they're with, they're going to fuck around and find out because they're trying to be aggressive.
Provocative provoking is not cool.
Right.
I'm not even dead. And if you said that shit to me, you'd piss me off.
Right. I definitely want to punch you in the throat on some of the things.
I definitely want to scratch the shit out of you and kick you down some stairs.
Right. Come on.
So don't do that. Why would you do that? It's like, be respectful. Whatever this thing that you may be speaking to or talking to or contacting, be respectful of it. It's another form of energy, another form of life, and be respectful of that. If you're going to go in there all puffed up like a big rooster and, try to toot your own horn and stroke your own ego, you're going to fuck around and find out. As you said. So where'd you go? Oh, you're back. Don't scare me like that.
No, I was clicking shiny buttons.
We're still learning this new toy here.
Right. There's just a lot of cool options to this. I really. Ooh.
Well, hello. Oh, fuck. Now you can really see me with no makeup on. That's scary. I like that little donate thing up at the top,
Yeah, the donate.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen that on another site, on another